Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another Tech Brawl. I'm your host, the one and only, and you know what time it is. Many of you have watched my battery drain test at some point on YouTube, and if you're new here or are a returning viewer, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button since that will enter you into my giveaway for a free pair of Galaxy Buds 2 or AirPods 2. But more information and for the rules on how to enter are at the end of the video. But guys, you guys read the title, you saw the thumbnail. For today's video, we're pitting up the entire new line of Galaxy S23 phones plus a budget option, that being the Galaxy A54, just to spice things up and to see whether the budget offerings can outperform the flagships. Guys, what I will say is that the results will completely shock you. This tech rumble is definitely one for the history books, seeing as it's a nail biter the entire fight. So guys, I don't want to waste much time. For those interested in getting right into the action and are familiar with my drain test and the rules, I've conveniently attached video chapters so that you can go ahead and skip right on into the action. However, before you do, I'd advise at least looking at the official tell of the tape and to see how each of our four combatants stack up against each other. So now that all of our introductions are out of the way, it's time to clear my throat and put on my best Bruce Buffer voice because, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Let's quickly roll the intro and get right into our official introductions and tell of the tape. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my official 2023 battery drain test on the Samsung Galaxy S23 line. I know how much you guys find these entertaining, but they also serve a dual purpose. Many of you guys have also told me that these drain tests have helped you guys make a more informed decision when deciding on what model of phone to get. I've done a variety of drain tests including, but not limited to, the Google Pixel line, the current iPad lineup, the current iPhone lineup, and now we get the Samsung Galaxy lineup. So first, let's set some ground rules. All phones are hooked up to the same Wi-Fi network. All phones are set to 85% brightness with adaptive brightness mode turned off. Bluetooth has been left on all devices for the entirety of the test, and all devices have been updated to their most current software version. Guys, I try to put as much attention to detail as possible to ensure this is as fair a fight as possible, and all of our combatants are on an even playing field. So, okay, you guys know the whole spiel. All of the settings are identical alongside with identical brightness to keep things fair. So now, let's get to our official tell of the tape. I want to make it very clear that the positioning of these phones will not change at all throughout the entirety of the test. I'll label them here and there in case you forget which is which, but all the way to the left is more of a budget offering, and honestly, I threw it in there just to spice things up and also give battery perspective on budget offerings versus the very expensive premium flagship offerings. This is the Galaxy A54 in awesome violet and has an MSRP of $449. It has a plastic construction, but this makes sense given its price point. And up on screen right now are its official tech specs. Next up and to the right of the A54 is the Samsung Galaxy S23, the regular one in Phantom Black, and has a starting price of $799 and sports a 6.1-inch display. I gotta say, I am an Apple fan and have mostly all Apple products, but man, this design is gorgeous and looks really clean in this Phantom Black color. However, if you prefer something a little larger, you can opt for the Samsung Galaxy S23 Plus, which is our contestant third from right. It features a bigger 6.6-inch display and starts at $999. The color we have chosen for this drain test is cream, and I happen to think it looks terrific with those side metallic bezels that seem to shimmer when the sun hits it just right. And finally, we have the Mac Daddy of the bunch, the massive Galaxy S23 Ultra, which sports a massive 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED display, and its highlight feature is possessing an almost comical 200 megapixel wide camera sensor. This guy here sports the largest battery, but also has insane power and efficiency under the hood, and starts at an eye-watering $1199. And there you have it, guys. That was the official tell of the tape. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's officially time. These 4 phones have all touched gloves before the fight. Don't worry, I watched them. Go ahead and comment down below which is your prediction to take home the gold. Let's go ahead and get right into the action. Here we go, round number 1. As is customary, we feature our simple standby test. Think about all the time you leave your phone just sitting and idle. Whether you realize it or not, the biggest detriment to the average user's daily battery usage is when the display is just on and pumping out those pixels. While typically this isn't a huge weight on battery, after some time, you'll slowly start to notice your battery diminish the longer you leave it sitting just idle. Now, for this very reason, most Galaxy phones come with a maximum 10-minute screen timeout, which means that after 10 minutes of just sitting idle, not doing anything or watching anything, the display will automatically dim and then shut off. Which sucks for battery drain tests because it means I'm stuck having to babysit some smartphones continuously. So at the very least, drop a like on this video because I had to watch them like a hawk to ensure their displays wouldn't turn off. So in essence, this round is pretty easy for our 4 contestants. So after 60 minutes on idle with their displays continuously on, here are the results. Tied for first place is, actually all of them. Not bad. All 4 phones now stand at 97%, only dropping 3 points each in the span of an hour. Honestly, not too terrible, and it just makes the drain test that much more exciting, knowing each one is going into round number 2 all on an even playing field. So now, we continue on to round number 2, our standard camera test. Nowadays, it's almost impossible to not use your smartphone cameras. Whether it's for selfies, using it on apps that revolve around your camera like Snapchat, or maybe you want to capture an exciting scene real quick with video recording, we all use our cameras a lot more than you'd initially think. So to mimic real-world usage of the camera, I cranked up each phone's standard lens and started recording my wall for 60 minutes each. The good thing here is the screen timeout doesn't count when video recording because your phone is, well, it's a little busy doing something, so it gave me a chance to sneak out for a quick bite. I should have thought twice because that Taco Bell was a terrible idea. Yet again, I never learn. Anyway, I got back just in time, and after all phones recorded for about an hour, they no longer are tied, and here are the results. All the way to the left, coming in first place for now, is our budget model. The Galaxy A54 miraculously outperforms the others, coming in at 86%. The standard S23 is starting out somewhat gassed. Not sure if it skipped a day or 2 of cardio, but it now settles at 78%, whereas its bigger bro, the S23 Plus, comes in at a more respectable 80%. And finally, our heavyweight, the S23 Ultra, now stands at 79%. It's still way too early to call. This is still anyone's W to take. So let's let these guys sit on the stool for just a minute as we now head into round number 3. For this test, I wanted to mimic real-world social media usage because, let's face it, a lot of us could spend a lot less time on social medias. It doesn't matter what it is. Look, there's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and those are just the most popular ones here in the States. Whatever it is, most of us are on one of these platforms at least a few times a day. So first, I crank up Twitter and head over to the Discovery page to scroll through some football and sports news. Every few minutes, I would scroll and here and there some videos would play, which is very typical of Twitter. Of course, I'd love it if I had 4 hands to continuously scroll and confuse my algorithms, so I did the best I could. You don't see it, but I'm off camera on the toilet because that salsa from Taco Bell really fucked me up. Anyway, after 1 hour of scrolling on Twitter, I now head over to TikTok, which is quickly growing on me, ironically, as it's trying to get banned currently, and I find myself on the platform more and more every day. Just as before, every 3 minutes or so, I'd show up and scroll through some videos to mimic real-world usage. So finally, after 120 minutes of straight social media use, we arrive at the following figures. For round number 3, our standings remain relatively the same, but these guys have tremendous heart, and it's still a really close matchup. In first place still is the A54 coming in hot with 67%. The standard S23 is still lagging a bit, but starting to pick up the pace as it now stands at 61%. Its older bro, the S23 Plus, is right on the A54's tail as it now comes in at 65%, only 2 points away from first place, and currently in second is the S23 Ultra, which is pretty incredible given its massive stature and that ginormous but very gorgeous 6.8-inch display coming in at 63%. Interesting. So far, is your pick winning? I'm telling you guys, the best is yet to come. It's about to get ugly. Round number 4, the gaming test. Now look, I'm gonna be honest, I think a lot of us have that game that is simply our guilty pleasure, and don't lie. There's a few games that you are probably maybe a little embarrassed about throwing a few dollars here and there, but the thing is, it starts to add up. For me, that game is Pokemon Go. And despite the new remote raid nerfs, which every single Pogoer despises by the way, I still play it regularly. Here's my trainer code in case any of you guys want to raid with me. So for round number 4, I wanted to mimic some casual gaming, maybe 20 or 30 minutes per session. So I headed over to the Go Battle League and completed a set of 5 battles on each device. You're allowed 5 sets per day, so this game was perfect for this specific test. Sadly, I didn't do too hot and lost a little over half my battles. So roughly after about a cumulative hour of gaming, our results are as follows. Starting in reverse order this time. The S23 Ultra is now sitting at 55% battery. Not bad at all, it's just a little over half. The S23 Plus is slightly above it at 57%. Again, pretty good. The standard S23 in black is at 51%, nearly at a half tank. And our budget model, the A54, is still in the lead, but only slightly now, coming in at 59%. So guys, what do you think so far? We have one more round before we get into the championship rounds. So far, how's your pick doing? We now finally get to the streaming test where I can finally take a break to escape for any errands I need to do during the day, as well as get my gym pump in. So while setting these guys up, I decided to get my pre-workout in order while setting the phones up on 2 of the biggest streaming giants, at least here in the States. 2 of them being on Netflix and the other 2 on Hulu. And about the halfway point, we have them switch, so they evenly get the same amount of time on Netflix and on Hulu. This is done to not only add some equal variance to our test, but also because I want to avoid device screen limits since I hook up my little brother and girlfriend with my Hulu and Netflix. So this test is the longest of all of them and really puts these phones' cardio to the test. Additionally, it's also reasonable to assume a lot of us spend well more than an hour or 2 on Netflix watching our favorite shows. Like, come on. My girlfriend just put me on Attack on Titans, and I've heard it's fire. So best believe we gon' binge. But alright, roughly 4 hours pass. They all take turns swapping to the other streaming service, and then we get the following results. This is where things begin to get very interesting. Remember how our budget model used to be in first place? Psych! Now it's in last place as it comes in at 28%. Like, what the hell? In comparison, the standard S23 is now 3 points higher, coming in at 31%. Miraculously, the S23 Plus, which mind you, toughed it out in second place for a while, shows tremendous heart and now manages to catch the lead for now, coming in first at 36%. But don't get too carried away. The mighty Ultra is right on its tail, only being 1 point behind, officially coming in at 35%. Very, very interesting results. So folks, grab your popcorn because this slugfest is set to continue. This is it, folks. We now head into the championship rounds. It's do or die. One of these guys needs to make something happen now if they want to set the tone and broaden the gap to secure a healthy lead. At this point into the testing, we're nearly 9.5 hours, and all 4 of our contestants are still going strong. So now we head over into our internet browsing test where basically I open up Google Chrome on each device and slowly open up different tabs for about an hour and incrementally load more and more pressure onto our chipsets and RAM by having all those windows opened up simultaneously. I don't know about you, but I'm the type that can't stand someone who has like 50 million tabs open up at once. Like, dude, close out your tabs. We opened up Yahoo, Apple.com, MSN, Yahoo Finance, and many, many others until we reached about 17, I think, which is way more than anyone needs open at a time, trust me. At the conclusion of this test, the results are coming in as follows. The budget A54 somehow still remains in last place. after gassing out in the middle rounds, now coming in at 19%, officially in the danger zone and at risk for being first to throw in the towel. The standard S23 is faring better, but only slightly, coming in at 21%. Over with the S23 Plus and S23 Ultra, it's haymaker after haymaker. These guys just keep on swinging with neither wanting to give up their leads. They both come in tied for first, with both devices coming in at 27%. Still though, we cannot count out a single device, at least not yet. It's still too early to call and is going to come down to the wire. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, our 7th and final round. As is customary, we feature our YouTube test as our final challenge for these phones. This test will run until there is one final device standing, so we can declare a winner. So we run my battery drain test playlist running on all 4 devices and just let them roll. By the way, at the 11-hour mark, I was curious, and so 11 hours in, the A54 is still hanging in there, but at this point is showing huge holes in its game, coming in at 15%. Once again, the standard S23 isn't lagging too far behind, officially at 18%. And which do you think took the lead? The S23 Plus or the S23 Ultra? The thing is, wrong answer. They're again tied at 24%. I'm almost positive for this next hour I took a nap as it was really starting to get late, but I hope my dedication shows here, as I set an alarm to ensure I woke up to check them at the literal half-day mark. 12 hours and still running, man. Half a day. At this point, the A54 is barely hanging in there, only moments away from calling it quits, as it now comes in at 5%. The S23 still at the same pace, still comes in third for now at 8%, and yet again, over and over, the S23 Plus shoots a takedown, but great defense by the Ultra. Then the Ultra throws a heavy hook, but still, neither of these combatants will budge. They both, again, are still tied for first place at 15%. This is really intense, boys and girls. As expected, shortly after we have a fallen soldier, though. And as expected, because of its weak cardio game, the A54 somehow knocks out the S23 with literal seconds. What is going on here? It's over for the S23. It taps out first, ladies and gentlemen, at 12 hours and 38 minutes. But this ain't even a joke. 5 seconds later, the A54 throws in the towel. What? This is crazy. Defying the odds, the A54 officially comes in third, whereas by a huge shocker, the S23 now comes in dead last officially, literally losing by only seconds. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely insane. Sorry, I got a little too hyped there. So now there are 2. The suspense is killing me. Will we have another scenario where their timing is separated only by seconds? As I said, they've both been tied at the same percentage for like hours now. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Galaxy S23 Ultra that actually taps out, officially coming in second with a super impressive time of 13 hours and 49 minutes. Besting its little brother, the S23, by more than an hour. Besting its little cousin, the S23, by more than an hour. Which means, ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. And new Samsung Galaxy battery drain champ. The Samsung Galaxy S23. It officially calls it quits not long after, with an official time of 14 hours and 2 minutes, showing some tremendous heart there at the end, taking the lead and taking the gold. Guys, let's hear it for our new champ. So guys, there you have it. Man, this was a roller coaster of emotions. A massive back and forth with plenty of surprises. What did you think though? As always, I want to thank each and every one of you watching. I hope you enjoyed the show, and now you know it's the Galaxy S23 Plus that reigns supreme and is expected to, on average, last the longest battery-wise, but of course realize everyone's use case is different and results may vary. But for the giveaway, guys, it's super simple. Simply follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I'll throw up my handles on screen right now, and simply comment which of the two you'd prefer and why, Samsung or Apple. Another requirement, of course, is to subscribe to my channel with bell so that you never miss out on any of my future uploads. One winner will be randomly chosen and announced on my social medias on May 31st, 2023, and the winner can choose between AirPods or the Galaxy Buds. Good luck to all who enter. Check out some of my other battery drain tests by clicking the links in the video description, and as always, y'all, I'm clocking out for now, but I cannot wait to catch you all in my next video.